The Big Lerf Podcast, talking LRF and more. Hello and welcome to the Big Lerf Podcast. My name is Ben Bassett. I'm here with Rich Salter.
Hello there.
How you doing, mate?
All right, mate. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, good. This is a bit of a overdue catch-up pod.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
we've been planning it for a little while, haven't we?
Yeah. Well, we intended to do this a version of it while we were doing the Big Lerf Weekender, which obviously didn't work out.
No, we had great intentions, didn't we?
We did.
But that sort of event does things to you where your plans change, don't they? Unfortunately.
Completely. Yeah, they do. And so I think every time you think, oh yeah, we can record here, we'll stop there, we'll record, you're thinking, actually, no, I want to do some fishing, or I'm just too tired, or I want to eat. So,
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, much better to record afterwards when you're a little bit fresher. And this is what we're doing today.
Yeah.
But we've not just got the Big Lerf Weekender to sum up, we've got the CLF.
Yes, it was a busy couple of weeks, really, wasn't it?
It really was, yeah. Back-to-back competitions, which obviously is a pretty mad thing anyway. So I think that's what we'll start on, is the Cornish Lure Festival. Again, not one that I could attend, which is a shame.
Yeah, big shame, yeah.
Yeah, obviously I'm putting them back-to-back, obviously with my son at home. There's a bit too much pressure on my wife to do that. So
yeah, it's not really practical for you at the moment, is it?
Not at all, no. So I feel like it was the right thing to prioritise the Big Lerf Weekender, of course.
Of course, yeah.
But it means I get to listen to your story of how the Cornish Lure Festival went.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, was mixed for you.
It was, yeah. I think you got a hint to how it might go for me following the weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, you were struggling a few times, yeah.
Yeah, but I fished it with Donny this time, which was nice.
Yeah, Donny Midas, who was obviously on the previous podcast.
Yeah, so obviously you were unavailable. Joe's been busy, hasn't he? So Donny was keen to give it a crack for the first time, and sort of I made a plan based on the spots we'd fished over the years, to sort of try and give us a chance. But that plan pretty much went out the window.
Yeah, there's quite a few things were thrown at you, weren't they?
So the weather was the big one, really, because it spun around to like a northeasterly, was it?
Horrible,
Yeah. So
I'll admit, I looked at that forecast and I was less jealous.
Yeah. I tried to argue with you that it would still be all right, didn't I? And you were like, oh, I'm not so sure. You were right, of course.
You mentioned a few marks, and I'm thinking, I don't know about that, But
it was frustrating because I had a sort of plan in my head, because I think you've got to try and get off to a bit of a flyer to stand a chance. The guys you're up against, the
quality's high, isn't it?
Yeah, and a lot of guys are willing to sort of pretty much do it on minimal sleep, or almost none.
Yes.
So you got to try and give yourself a chance.
You have.
So I was a bit bummed that didn't quite pan out, but we had a plan B, and went all right. We did Falmouth on the Friday in the end, rather than sort of further down the coast.
Yeah. And
that worked all right. I mean, there was still a point where I'm stood there, like the horizontal rain lashing down. I'm pretty sure the rain blew up my waterproof trousers because I still got wet legs.
No way, yeah.
It was, and I was just sort of laughing to myself, like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll go back a little bit just to talk about the CLF, because obviously I didn't really set off. I mean, firstly, I think everyone who's listening knows what the CLF is, Cornish Lure Festival.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've talked about it multiple times. You've obviously done it, most years, pretty much.
So,
years you missed it.
I missed was the COVID year when it didn't happen.
Yeah, that's it. So you've done it, and you've
since 2018, I think.
Yeah, and you have
was
won
our
it,
first one.
Obviously.
I did. Yeah, fluke a win. Yeah. Circumstances in my favour.
A win's a win.
Yeah.
But I think this year, just to sort of go over it, they brought the format back to the old format, which is just a straight up species hunt.
Yeah.
Similar to what we do for the Weekender.
Yeah, so they dropped the Falmouth event, like sort of 1 day points based thing, and the Mevagissy one that they did last year, which I personally enjoyed, but you know what you get from the all out slog, don't you? And still enjoyable.
Yeah.
But obviously your time's sort of prioritised differently, isn't it, on those events where you've got a day taken by Falmouth and a half a day taken by, which
I guess is mixed bag, right? Obviously it's like you don't want your weekend dictated to you, but also it's quite good fun to have the social event.
Yeah, and I do feel like it's perhaps a bit of a leveler as well, sort of you're all fishing, although there's rotation and thing, you're sort of all fishing the same place. You're all,
Yes.
It's and also I think the fact it's not a battle of endurance favours certainly myself. But yeah, we love the old format still, don't we? And
yeah, it's the classic.
Yeah.
So just now we've done that bit. Let's go back to Falmouth, obviously in those horrible conditions.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I got a message because obviously I wanted to be involved, so I'm just getting a constant message from you guys, mostly Donny, because Donny seems to have a little bit more energy.
Yeah, and I'm just rubbish at when I'm fishing. I tend to
switch off from
forget
the phone.
about it. Yeah,
and I don't blame you. But he told me I think his rod got blown in.
Yeah. Oh yes. Custom House Key.
Yeah.
The wind was that strong, like the gusts, and it just sort of flipped it straight over the railings, and it was down in the water. So
that's madness.
Yeah. But it was genuinely wild, sort of.
So how are you fishing that? So were you like fishing it like with heavy drop shots, stuff like that?
Yeah, as soon as we got there, I that was pretty much the only option available to you. A 5 gram drop shot was still drifting quite quickly, around the key. But thankfully, there was quite a lot of like hungry wrasse. So as it was drifting, you were getting quite a lot of bites. So
that's good.
We started off all right, to be honest.
I think those conditions, like it can be very, very disheartening. But if you've got the bites going constantly,
it keeps you going, doesn't it? Otherwise, I think you probably jack it in pretty quick, But yeah, we did all right. We got the wrasse, the 3 main wrasse species. Yeah. Pollock, gobies were a little bit slow, but we sort of ticked them off and fished right, sort of the usual spots in Falmouth.
Yeah.
Ended up at Prince of Wales, and
I bet Prince of Wales was pretty interesting, that wind.
It was, but the wind actually dropped off quite suddenly, sort of as darkness came, and then we were able to sort of scale down a bit, and
okay, nice. That's
when sort of we started picking up like little red bream, sand smelt. Nice. I say picking up little red bream. Donny was picking up a lot of little red bream, and I was pulling my hair out, and I got one in the end. So
yeah, they're a bit up in the water though, right? Is that
they were, but actually, it wasn't until I actually sort of fished very slow, that I got my fish. Like I was almost rushing, I think, by that point. When I seen Donny catch a 6th, and I'm I need to sort this out really.
There is a horrible feeling in those competitions though, where and even in the weekender, so to speak, even though it's a bit more relaxed. When you're fishing next to someone and they are pulling a fish out that you want, that is like such a disheartening feeling.
Really easy to get yourself in a hole, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then, also, I think like energy levels drop, don't they? And if you are starting to fall behind, it's sort of hard to find a way out of that. You need a couple of fish, don't you, to sort of
definitely get
back in the groove. But sort of me and Donny were to-ing and fro-ing for
And so, how many species did you end up on? Day one?
I think I ended up on 10 on day one.
Okay.
And I think Donny was pretty close.
Double figures in those conditions, pretty good.
Well, I was pretty pleased with that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because we did try a Mark IV Falmouth that was a washout, sort of blown out. But I think Donny stopped off on the way back to wherever he slept and pulled out a little mullet as well. So, but we were pretty close that first day. I think he managed like a dragonet and a pout, which are sort of bonus species, aren't they? So
yeah, they're not that common at Falmouth. I'm sure they are actually common. If you did a netting of the bay, I'm sure there's loads of them. But around the actual front of it,
not guaranteed, are they?
No.
But
it's interesting. Did you find was there lots of people fishing in Falmouth?
Quite a few squid anglers.
Yeah.
And as because we'd gone down the steps on Prince of Wales, didn't realise there was actually a few lurfers had sort of amassed on the end.
Oh, nice.
Did have a little chat with Dave Smith before we left, but we sort of packed it in as we realised that they were there. But through the weekend, it was nice to, as always, bump into various people and have chats.
There's a strong Big Lerf contingent, really.
It is, yeah.
Taking part.
Nice to have some real positive chats with those about Big Lerf stuff and what's going on in the future.
Yeah, it's good. It's exciting.
Yeah.
So that was day one. So what time did you finish day one?
Wasn't crazy late. I think probably 1-ish. Got back maybe. And then didn't get up crazy early in the morning. We went down to Charlestown.
Yeah. Which I've heard from yourself and other people that there was filming going on.
Yeah, so the outer arm, the bigger arm, was fenced off because, as you say, they were filming, so we were limited to the other arm. But it was just Steve Rowland was down there actually when we arrived, and he seemed to be a bit of a good luck charm because he caught a bass as soon as I got there actually.
Nice.
And I had a little cast. And
what sort of state of the tide was that?
I think it was still, I want to get this right actually, 3 high, might be on the way down actually.
I don't mind.
Yeah, no, it was ebbing. Yeah, it was ebbing because I wasn't hugely optimistic, but there's always a chance there, isn't there? But yeah, managed a little bass myself. I think I'm pretty
What'd
sure
you
I
get the bass on?
a little Cheb Shirasu combo.
Classic.
Yeah, I think that's been pretty productive for me in that area. Yeah, I think I've actually had more bass there than I probably have at Foy, weirdly.
That's very odd.
Yeah.
We obviously haven't fished Foy enough.
No, I've probably not fished it, heavily, but
yeah.
I think it always turns up a bass or two, weirdly.
Yeah, there's quite a few on the outside of those arms, like kind of just hovering there to pick off any stragglers that are coming in and out of there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Was the swell all right?
It was all right at the time, yeah. It was Saturday was a lovely day, generally.
Because obviously we obviously, we'll talk this over when we talk about the weekender, but like the swell for the weekender was a bit more, wasn't it? So
yeah. But obviously the Friday was a completely different situation, but and the Sunday actually, but Saturday was a good fishing day. Conditions were good, and
you had obviously a nicer catch, which is not, I guess, strange to say unexpected, but you don't get many of them for a very sandy spot.
No, I certainly don't.
Yeah,
because I was convinced it was a gurnard until it came to the surface, because it just wasn't in my mind. But I managed to drop that same Shirasu Cheb combo on the nose of a flounder, and
nice. Was that literally a cast out and then?
Yeah, literally a cast, a lift, a bang, and then up
so
it came.
Nice.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, I think flounder quite often they hit it quite hard like a gurnard.
Yeah, it was a decent positive hit. There was no sort of messing. Which is again why I thought it was a gurnard, I think, because it was so positive.
Yeah.
But, Steve kindly stretched down and netted that one for me.
Brilliant. It was quite a nice sized flounder, really.
Yeah, really pleased with that one.
Better than the ones you used to get in the inside.
Yeah.
Harbour. I don't think we're going to be getting those anytime soon.
No, I think a few things have worked against us there, haven't they?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, just to go through that, I mean, since the CLF, we had the storms, and then the gate broke at Charlestown, and the inner harbour, which has always been a bit of a, I guess, a bit of a mecca really for travelling anglers to sort of stop by and pick up a little flounder. You've had a sole in there.
Yeah, other bits, eels were quite
eels. Yeah, I mean,
reliable.
I've had big rudd in there. I've had perch.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the whole thing drained out pretty much, didn't it?
Yeah, and I think it was already a little bit sparse because apparently there'd been a big algal bloom.
Yeah.
And people hadn't seen much in there, and obviously that's probably done for that for a little while now.
I'm trying to think how many years we've been fishing that. It's got to be 4, if not more.
Yeah. Did we not fish it like the early years?
I don't know if
probably not.
No,
actually.
I don't think we did. I think probably COVID, maybe just before. Maybe we were fishing it around that sort of time.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, so it's like those flounder have been with us the whole time, probably same fish, probably.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Not getting any bigger.
No, maybe they'll be swirling around in the harbour a bit more now.
Well, hopefully, they'll get out there and actually grow on a bit of size.
Yeah.
But interesting.
But yeah, so that was good, and I managed a weaver right on the inside in the end. Actually, fished in the mouth, no bites, and Tim Brewer was there, and he tipped me off on that one. So always grateful to get that out of the way pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, like we talked about, the weaver was a bit of a nemesis for you for the weekend, wasn't it? The weekend before.
Yeah. Weirdly,
strange.
And
isn't
black
it?
goby, which I didn't struggle for. The CLF.
No. It's funny how it goes.
Yeah.
So you would have been on how many species then?
So that would have been 13.
Yeah. Which is, it's like, and to get people into the headspace of that, really. I mean, you never know how well you're doing. With a Cornish Lerfer. So you hear rumours, don't you?
I always convince myself I'm doing terribly, actually.
Yeah.
And it messes with your head a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think because I'm always stung by the fact, I remember calling Pender up one year. I think it was like might have been our first year we tried to do it, I think. And he and I called him up and he was on like 18. And I think I was just scraping double figures and I thought I was doing well.
Yeah, sort of.
And I think that stayed in my head ever since, that mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. You got, like I said, you got to keep the momentum going, haven't you? And just sort of keep chipping away. And I think that was the plan over the weekend, is to try and sort of knock off those 20 sort of baseline species almost.
Yes,
like
yeah.
the ones you think you can rely
Because
on.
this year they were including different species of goby, weren't they?
Yeah. I'm not sure what I think of that.
No.
I know that probably works for you, doesn't it? But
well, it's interesting because obviously our fishing can be really different, can't it? Because
Yeah.
I really enjoy sight fishing. You obviously don't enjoy that so much.
No.
So for sight fishing, the micro species are brilliant. I really enjoy them.
yeah, and you can actually add quite a few species to your list, can't you?
Yeah.
It's just something that
It's why the likes of Lucas and Will are so good at it. So
Yeah.
they're very good with their eyes.
they're able to pick off those little annoying
Yeah,
things, aren't they?
yeah, which is just something that you've just not enjoyed.
No, sadly not. I
No.
just can't get my head into that. Can't get my eyes into that. So
No, well, horses for courses, isn't it?
yeah.
Different things, but yeah, interesting. So you obviously went from Charlestown then to
Went to Mever.
yeah,
I quite enjoyed Mever actually. Got the dragonet done quite quick.
yeah. Usual spot,
Usual spot.
so reliable.
Unbelievable that spot, isn't it?
Yeah, not telling you guys where it is, but if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry about
that's
that.
weird. And there were a few garfish and a few mackerel around
Yeah.
chasing the numerous.
Did you get them?
Eventually, garfish quite quickly.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's small, like during a weekender.
yeah. There were bigger ones around, but yeah, generally small and thinner on the ground. Like you get little pockets of them come in.
Yes.
But they were a bit harder to come by. Mackerel again, it was like lone fish almost, or twos and threes. You
Yes.
know. But I did do that after I gave up on a metal and chucked a drop shot down, just scratching, and reeled up the wall in sort of frustration, quite quick, and I got absolutely slammed by a big mackerel,
Crazy.
which
Yeah.
was quite good fun. Took a long time to
You got him in though.
got him in.
Yeah.
Again, Steve Rowland was there to net it for me. So
Ah, he was your lucky charm, wasn't he?
yeah,
Shout out to Steve.
yeah.
How funny. That's well, I think that happens quite a lot when you're going for. This is how strange that you can do all these planning competitions, but like sometimes it's just a bit of a fluky.
Yeah, you need that little bit of luck here and there,
Yeah,
don't you?
just like a cast here and you just land on the fish.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? And gars and mackerel are definitely those sort of species.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to at least see them about.
Yeah, it is, and as I said, I think Mever fished quite well, really, especially considering the small tides.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of scorps about. I've seen a few people catch them.
Yeah.
I managed to fluke one on a metal, which was satisfying.
Yeah, I love that photo. And we obviously we put it up on the social media yesterday, I think, and it's just like just love that photo.
Yeah.
Savage Gear flatline.
Yeah, just sort of hopping it above the weed line.
Yeah.
Where I imagined you could see the mackerel skimming over it,
Yeah.
and got that sort of solid thump, as solid as it can be on,
Of course.
And that was really nice. Enjoyed that.
I bet. Were you expecting a little pollock to come up at that point?
I was, because of the thump and like it felt a bit. I was like, what could that be? You know? But
Is that in quite deep water?
it was probably about 10 yards off the end of Mever.
That's
Harbour,
cool.
So yeah, nice.
You've got to love a scorp, the ambition,
Yeah.
I love the idea that there's just scorps waiting there on the edge, just waiting for like sandy or stuff to go by.
Yeah,
And they're actually going for them.
They are actually. They believe in themselves, don't they?
They do.
Yeah. So
Respect to the scorp.
lovely to see them. And I think they were, as I say, the small tides slowed a lot of things down. I think the scorps quite enjoy that sort of environment, don't
Yes.
they? Because as I said, I saw a few people catch them.
Yeah, I think there's definitely that, that very still water kind of gives them a bit of confidence they're not going to get eaten.
Yeah, seems to.
And they seem to. Yeah, I mean, some of my best scorp sessions have been at like neap tide, small tides, definitely. It's,
Yeah.
or they're more concentrated.
Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it?
Yeah,
To work it out.
well, I mean, you fish for years and don't work it out, don't you? But I think the contrast in tides, obviously, literally the 2 weekends couldn't be more different.
No.
Right? And obviously, we'll talk about what we felt, what happened in the weekender.
Yeah.
We were dealing with a very different set of tides.
Yeah.
We were dealing with like the smallest tides.
Exactly. Yeah,
nearly the
very little
smallest tides of the
movement there. Yeah. But I guess we'll touch on that.
We will,
eventually,
So did you find? So you still got the pelagics, right? So you got the bass,
Got the bass.
you got mackerel, you got garfish,
Yeah.
and scad.
Scad later on, yeah.
So it didn't cause that much of an issue, really. That's what you would normally be worried about.
It didn't, but it was ones and twos. Do you know what I mean? It was like
Not consistent sport.
No, sort of. We had to put a few hours in at Mever for me and Donny both to get like the pelagics we were after,
Yes,
or the species we were hoping for there. Got a pout there as well, which I was quite relieved about, because that's another one, isn't it? But I spent
There was a year you pulled out a pout there as well. That's the year you won the CLF.
Yeah, when things just...
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that was the year that I got that whiting out.
It was.
Out of the murk.
Oh, no, I remember. Yeah.
And you do need those things, don't you, to go.
And it's funny, it's often those species, the sort of ones you would like, well, if you're fishing Plymouth, you'd be completely unremarkable, but Cornwall just, you can catch all the red bream you like, but,
Yeah, but like you say, the pout and the whiting and even like the gold cinny can be a real headache, can't they?
It can be.
If you don't get to the marks that hold them.
Definitely.
But yeah, so
we're coming into like the final evening.
Got a shanny at Mebber
and you're
as well.
you're knackered.
I'm knackered. I'm wilting. I can feel my energy sapping through the day.
Yep.
And I think a pattern is developing there as I sort of finally come to the realisation. But
that you're an old man.
I'm an old man. I haven't got the mental strength or the physical endurance to see it through to silly o'clock in the morning or even past, 11 maybe.
Okay.
We did foy and I got a scad almost straight away.
Nice.
We did have a little
spots?
We did have a little go for couches at the usual spot.
Okay.
And I didn't manage anything. I did manage a bass that I swore at because
you thought it was a bream.
I thought it was a bream, but which also probably is a bit of an insight into how tired I was because they don't fight like a bream, do they?
No.
But I got that, a good positive take and a fairly jagged fight, I guess. And young Tom Locke was with me, and he sort of, he's like, bream? I was like, yeah, I think it's a bream. And he's like, oh, bass. I was like, oh, okay.
Just gutted.
Yeah, I was gutted. And then he went and pulled out couches and a gurnard on the metal.
Yeah, what metal was that?
I think it was one of the Apia Sirio, is it?
Okay.
I can never say it, but yeah, Tom's very good on the metals.
Yeah.
And that was rightfully called as catch.
Yeah, see, I've not fished with Tom a lot, but like that's Tom Locke, right? We're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Locke.
Yeah, not fishing him a lot, but I've always, he's always seems to do all right. He's a good angler.
He had a few mackerel out on metals at Mebber, actually, funny enough.
Nice, yeah.
Before he moved on, but yeah, it was nice to see him do that. But frustrating
special catch anyway
for me,
because bream on a metal is always good.
Yeah, it's a proper one, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a proper one.
Regardless of the species, doesn't matter. But catch is obviously probably the most likely one, but still fantastic.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, well done, Tom.
And actually, the only couches of the weekend, apparently.
That's mad.
So that's really mad.
Yeah, and yet red bream were the most common catch,
which is nuts in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we'll talk about them in a bit. But, crazy. So you then obviously so you went to foy, got your scad.
Got scad quite quickly.
Yeah, died a bit inside when you were trying to microfish.
So then, being at foy and having got the bass and the scad and the, scorp and dragging out, there wasn't really anything I could go at apart from small gobies in the shallows. And I tried, and I didn't really even see any. I saw a few little shadows darting off in the distance, and at that point I was feeling a bit dodgy, a bit tired, and a bit deflated, and
so you were on like 19 species, though?
Yeah. So
you can tell I wasn't with you because I would have kicked you right up the ass.
And that's what I need. That's what I need. And Donnie, brought up a lot of enthusiasm, but he was on his own sort of mission at the time as well. And I sort of drifted off down the town. Yeah. And I sort of I sort of quit in my head at that point, you know. But yeah.
So you just obviously you called it at that point, went home?
Yeah.
I say went home, back to
I sort
digs.
of met back up with Donnie, who had managed to get like sand and painted goby and was doing well. Met quite a few of the guys that were competing. Actually, it was nice. It was nice actually, sort of on a social side. Yeah, it was just tough personally, but yeah, that was the end of the day. Yeah, and the competition for me actually.
Yeah, so you didn't bother trying it on the Sunday because you were just done.
Yeah, I was done. I knew that we could go down to where everyone went in the end.
Padstow.
Yeah, and have a good chance at a gurnard and a bang on certainty for a sand goby. Yes, but I was just like, why? Yeah. I didn't feel the need to do it, but Donnie did.
He did, yeah. And so you finished on 19.
Yeah.
Donny finished on
23.
Yeah, which is a brilliant result.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, he picked off his gobies. He'd managed to get like a lesser sand eel, a mever, and
then
the
mullet and stuff, didn't he? Yeah.
Mullet found a 3-spine stickleback in a brook somewhere, didn't he?
Yeah.
And finished off at Padstow. So yeah, he did really well. Like thoroughly deserved.
Yeah. That's a fantastic for your first time to place. Where did you come? You came fourth.
Donny tied with Will Pender on 23 species.
Yeah.
And Will finished above him like on the count back for the rarity.
Yeah, because the species. I was looking at the species. Values. CLF is, I would say, controversial. Some of those species are rated.
Yeah, I did have a little laugh at some of those.
Yeah, too lowly for some of them. Arguably, fish like the pout and whiting should be well up there.
Oh yeah. Because
they just aren't common.
No, they're not. You really have to graph those, don't you, and get lucky.
But how they run their format, it's up to them, isn't it? But
something different, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So you came fourth, and as I said, Donny came third. Will Pender, who normally wins it. Yeah. Obviously, but he was he's his own stories on social media. You can have a look at that. But he was chasing wrasse at some point. And
he was. I think a few things didn't roll quite right for him today, but as always, still up there, wasn't he?
Still up there, yeah. Still safe faced, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then Lucas, he came first. So
yeah, he's cleaning up at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, because obviously, we'll spoil it, but he won the Big Lerf Weekender. Yeah. And so to get the double, fair play to you, Lucas. And don't know if you listen to this, so maybe you do, but we've got a lot of respect for you.
Oh, huge respect. Yeah.
Brilliant angler.
Yeah.
And a lovely guy.
He is, yeah. Always a pleasure to bump into him.
Yeah.
We obviously saw him a few times over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I was only one off him when I bumped him in at Mever, and I thought, all right, maybe I'm in with the show, but he just runs away because he was still missing things like Tom Pot and things you know that Lucas is going to pick off. And
and he's still young. He's very determined and very fresh to this still,
and a knack for putting out things like clingfish and other crazy stuff just like that, really. So
he's got him and Pender have got the same sort of knack, I'd say. That watercraft, that there's something you can't
just finding a lure into a spot where they and
it's quite often, as we've already said before, like the way that Lucas fishes, like when I've fished with him, he does it very back to basics. He's never trying to overcomplicate things,
but he's very efficient, isn't he?
Same with Will. Like Will, you watch Will, and obviously Will's been on the podcast and stuff talking about it. They never overcomplicate fishing, really.
No.
Yeah, especially during competition, they are like in game mode, and whatever's effective, whether it's a snooty drop shot, if it's a tip metal, let's keep it simple.
That sort of instinct as well to know to use those at those times as well.
Right time,
yeah. Fair play to them.
Yeah, brilliant anglers, and obviously a pleasure to be around, even if it means we don't win anything when we're there around.
Yeah, it's like them and the rest of the world, isn't it?
That's it, exactly. Exactly, they're the Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah,
indeed. So obviously, for yourself, really, how did you feel overall about the CLF? Did you enjoy yourself? Did you?
I did, and obviously I was tired and a bit jaded on that Saturday, and almost sort of quit CLF events in my head.
Yeah,
and sort of I was grumbling a little bit. As you know,
you are prone to a grumble
around midnight, aren't I?
You are.
But then I sort of had a sort of thought to myself on the drive home and thought maybe I just need to be better. Maybe I need to maybe I need to get a giant magnifying glass and try and sort those gobies out and eat better. But we
were joking that you should just get on some sort of training regime.
Yeah, and you're probably right.
High performance diet. Bit of training, bit of cardio.
Yeah. Perhaps that's it.
Just whip yourself into shape.
Yeah.
Ready for the
Get
next
yourself a personal trainer or something.
Exactly. Yeah. That's brilliant. I'm very jealous. I would love to have took part. And hopefully, next year I will.
Yeah, hopefully, man.
But it's just about having two consecutive weekends
big ask,
away.
Isn't it?
It's a big ask.
Yeah.
And it does mean having the Friday off both times as well, which is obviously a lot.
Yeah.
So but I'm well done to everyone who took part in the CLF. I mean, I think it was a good number of people who took part, right?
It was, yeah.
The Bass guys, I'm so proud of what the Big Lerf group has produced in regards to because Nathan Patrick won the bass comp.
He did, yeah. We were cracking. I think it was streets ahead.
Yeah, so obviously, Nathan was obviously he's won quite a few times in the fundraisers and in placed well in the Winter League as well. So like, great all round angler.
Yeah,
awesome. Fair play to him. Because as I said like before, I haven't got a lot of interest in the bass, but I respect the people who do. And, it's
fair play.
That's incredible. Yeah, so well done. But I think we'll finish part 1 there. Really, it's obviously half an hour chatting about the CLF. So next up, we'll talk about the Big Lerf Weekender.
Cool.
The Big Lerf podcast, talking LRF and more. So on to the Big Lerf Weekender. So this is obviously our comp, a little bit different to the CLF. Obviously, been going for, this is our fifth one.
Fifth one.
Yeah.
4 years running.
4 years, yeah. So incredible to have gone this long. It's a really, I just enjoy it every single time because obviously we can get involved a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like overall, we've always said like it's just about catching as many species as possible. Yeah, there's not really and the prizes of people can go for, of course, as well.
Yeah, very much about participation, isn't it? Sort of just
definitely, yeah, and obviously, like always, we did our weekend in Cornwall, which is very similar to the CLF, but we had much better conditions.
We did,
bigger tides. Yeah, some really lovely moments. Just really, really enjoyed it. I wanted to sort of go over the winners were first, and just go. So we had. Overall, we caught, as a joint effort across the world, on lures, artificial baits, whatever, 124 species.
Amazing.
Which is amazing. It was obviously close to what we did last year, I think.
Yeah, I think it was two different.
Yeah, and very different species this time. We didn't have like a huge amount of people fishing it from Greece, though we still did. So we had a lot more coming from like Australia.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of new ones from America.
Yeah. Yeah, because that brought a bit of variety and sort of quite a few new species for us, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
I mean, we should probably tally up the total species we've ever had, shouldn't we? Really,
we really
if
should.
We had the access to that information, but
well, to be fair, we probably have got it.
It'd be listed each year, wouldn't it?
It
we
would,
just need to pick it out
on a very, very wet, horrible Sunday. We'll do it one day.
Yeah, we'll do it.
But I'm pretty sure we had anglers coming fishing from obviously the UK, Ireland, Australia, America. That's North America.
Yep.
Spain, Greece, Portugal. Any else?
Cyprus.
Yeah. Pretty sure that's it. But the obviously the likes of like Lee Jackson obviously has moved over to Australia. There's a gent from Ireland. Was it? I can't pronounce his name. Is it Kian? Or was it?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I think I'm sorry if I just butchered your name, mate. But he's over in Australia as well, and so like it's good to have a few of those joining in. So we obviously just again very, very impressive the amount of species that were caught. We had 61 international catches logged. 5 of them were duplicates from across like UK and Ireland as well. 48 saltwater species in the UK and Ireland, and 20 freshwater. So
decent,
good going. The winners, we'll just go through that quickly. So we have the categories were England, Scotland and Wales, and then we had an all-island category as well. In England, Scotland and Wales, we had the coolest catch was Will Pender's John Dory.
I mean,
of course. What else are you going to do?
Yeah.
We talk about mic drops for that guy.
Yeah, I still. What do you say about that? Like,
no, because I really quite enjoy that story because he, as I was like an extra flex, went out with just one pack of essentially the Agi kit from Magbite.
The Magbite one, yeah.
Yeah, so which we sell in the Big Lerf tackle shop. You can go and buy that. That's the plug. Subtle plug.
That's slick, that was. Mate.
It was. I'm getting good at this. And he just went out with that and caught 8 species, I think.
Yeah.
Including a congreal.
Yeah.
And a John
Dory.
Which is just...
Because there was a point, wasn't there, where we felt like he had unscented longest fish and coolest catch sewn up, basically.
Yes, he did, yeah. At one point, he was winning all of them.
Yeah.
Just in what, an evening?
Yeah, an evening's work.
Incredible. So, yeah, well done, Will. What else do we say about you? I don't want to...
Yeah, hats off.
Say any more.
Yeah.
Coolest catch junior, that was Kieran Carter with a tub gurnard, which is nice to see. I think the juniors, again, great to see quite a few of those out. But a tub, we love a tub, don't we?
Yeah, it was nice to see a tub, isn't it?
Everyone loves them. So, and then thankfully we did have someone who decided to pip Will Pender for most species unscented.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was George McKenzie.
Yeah.
Well done, George.
Yeah, he did well there, didn't he? Was
Yeah,
it
9 species.
9 species, really
Yeah,
good.
so, and that was, I think, mostly freshwater.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did really well. And then obviously we got the main tallies were, other than longest fish, we had Lucas, who caught a 79 centimetre pike.
That's right.
Which beat the 70 centimetre conger that Will had caught.
Yeah.
Just crazy. So yeah, most species was Lucas with 37. So that's a record.
It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is fresh and salt water. So 37. Donny Midas got 35, and then Lee Clifton with 24. I think Lee was with Donny most of the weekend.
Yeah, a fair bit of it, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. So well done, guys.
It was an
Incredible
interesting battle between Donny and Lucas, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they were going past each other numerous times.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
I think Lucas probably held the strength on the saltwater, and Donny obviously smashed it on the fresh, didn't he?
Because it's worth saying that Donny got 18
freshwater in the first day, was
in
it?
the first day.
Yeah.
And he was catching things like topmouth gudgeon and goldfish and crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty much all of them.
Which is just insane.
Yeah.
He really has got that sewn up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Freshwater
there.
master.
He is. Yeah, fair play to Donny. And Lee Clifton has obviously recently got into the sort of species hunting side of things.
He's doing well.
Doing really well, yeah. One to watch. Most species junior. Good to see Will Birch. Because I think Tom Barron sat it out this year, so that battle that normally happens didn't happen. So Will Birch got 23.
Good total.
Yeah, good total. And then Tyler Park and Callum Moyle both tied on 15, but Tyler got second because he had caught a bullhead.
Yeah,
so
the rarer species, wasn't
rarer
it?
species. So he got that slightly on points, but again, it's nice to see Callum doing well again because he's obviously a new face to it.
Yeah, he is. He's doing really well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like you say, good to see fresh faces coming through, isn't it?
Definitely. And so all islands, then we had, so coolest catch was James Murphy with a Yarrow's Blenny.
That was a cool catch.
Always a dessert. I mean, as soon as that came out, I was like, that's going to win.
Yeah.
It
was a decent photo as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice. In the tank.
Yeah.
Because I think they're quite a hard species to photograph.
Yeah.
Quite a long Blenny.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
I'd love to catch one.
Absolutely.
And then most species, David Ogilvy with 27, who was our champion last year as well.
Yeah, he always smashes it, actually, doesn't he?
Yeah.
On the species.
Most species junior, Bobby Pritchard with 11. So, yeah, well done, Bobby, your brand new name as well. This is really good. A shout out to Ireland, by the way. Really pulled it out of the bag this year.
Yeah.
Because I think last year was a bit slower after previous years have been really busy.
They came back with a vengeance this year, didn't they?
Yeah, and Southside Angling, so Craig Murphy at Southside really put a lot of effort in promoting it. And
Craig's been great, hasn't he?
He's so good to us. Yeah. And David Ogilvy, I think he did a lot of promoting as well.
He did, yeah.
So, I think it's great to see you guys, and thank you so much for embracing the Big Lerf.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Really does mean a lot. And then the international coolest catch, we did have a adult and junior, but again, I think it's quite hard to reach the juniors.
It seems to be, doesn't it? I think we've always struggled with that, haven't we?
Yeah, we put it in there because we want it to be fair, but it's hard to
put it out there, can't we?
But it obviously, but it was the same person who won it last year, which is Panagiotis. I think I've pronounced your name right, and Giorgio, and with a marbled electric ray.
Yeah, I mean,
which is
say no more, isn't it?
I mean, it's an electric ray.
Yeah,
you can't say that's not a cool catch.
No,
it's
that was very, very.
It's
cool.
a very cool catch, a shocking catch.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I apologise.
Oh dear.
So as what can we say other than thank you to the sponsors, thank you to everyone who took part.
Yeah,
it was a really, really, brilliant weekend, as it has been for the last 4 years, whatever time we've been doing this.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Thank you all.
So, and I think we'll just try and run over our weekend because it was definitely different to your experience for the CLF.
Yeah, very different. I'd say. Yeah,
and for me, I want to focus on really there's a few different times we were fishing where I felt so good.
Yeah,
it's hard to put in words, but I'll do my best. Like how much I needed that.
Yeah,
obviously I've had a really amazing and life-changing year. With the birth of my son, And obviously fishing just has to take a back seat, even though I do, probably to a lot of people, it still appears that I do a lot of fishing, but compared to what I used to do.
You don't do it anywhere near what I used to do. No.
So like these weekends is like super special to me.
Yeah.
And like, there's a few moments, and I want to say, like, we fished at Hale as the sun was going down, and the tide was like so high that I thought it was going to come over the top nearly.
It was, wasn't it? It was so close, yeah.
And everything was biting.
Yeah, it was glorious, actually, wasn't it?
And it was just so nice. The weather was lovely. We're in T-shirts still.
Yeah.
And
it was real sort of simple pleasures, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It wasn't really... I was just trotting a little... I was on a decoy SV56 jig head, 1.5 gram, I think, because it was deep water.
Yeah.
And with a booty shake. And just drifting that, bouncing it along in the current, and just picking up, cork wings, picking up ballons, picking up gobies, and it's just so, and like, you felt like it probably wasn't going to be anything crazy the next fish you caught, but it's still so.
It's just really satisfying fishing, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, everything felt right there, sort of thing, didn't it?
Yeah, and I really, I felt like I really enjoyed my soft plastic fishing over that weekend.
Yeah.
Like where, I felt, because obviously there's no pressure, and I was just kind of like just trying to enjoy myself. And we've got a lot of soft plastics to sort of try over these days.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah, you did well, didn't you?
Yeah. And the light was lovely for photos.
Yeah, it was. It was really nice. Really fill your boots there, can't you?
It was good. We started at as far down in Cornwall as we ever have.
Yeah.
And it was not the conditions we would have liked. It would have been liked it to be the following day, pretty much.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it wasn't ideal, was it? It was quite a bit of swell.
Yeah.
Well, it was fishable, wasn't it? It was just sort of we were a bit more limited on.
It was. I was struggling to imagine us pulling out our target species as much. It was harder to imagine that, and I got fully drenched, like from head to toe, by waves twice.
Yeah.
Went down my neck. Everything. I was like, I turned around and I just looked at this wave coming at me, like, I just thought, oh,
you just got to take it.
Okay, yeah, literally just took a full spray to the face. But we had some good fun there. We tried some different lures. We, I was, picking stuff up on the G-Crack Bellows gill. That was quite fun.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, like, just trying different things out in it's a lot of swell. A lot of weed.
Yeah. It's quite hard to fish down through, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the corkies there are beautiful, aren't they?
Incredible. Yeah. I think any of those sort of, all corkies are wild, but the ones that are really out in the wilderness, like, amongst the kelp.
Yeah, they do look almost a different species, don't they?
Yeah, sort of really beautiful.
And good size to them as well.
Yeah, and good fighting too.
Yeah, really good sport.
Yeah, so we didn't pick up anything massive there, but there was we were down that way to hopefully get more exotic wrasse species.
Yeah,
but we didn't get those. But,
no luck this time.
I don't think the conditions were really smiling on us there.
No, I think we'd been lucky, wouldn't we, to have found them? But you got to have a go, haven't you?
You got to chance your arm, haven't you? Yeah. And I think it's we've always started like much closer to home, and so it's good to try something different and work backwards.
Yeah, I think that was our game plan, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, and then we went up to Hale, and like obviously we were there at low tide pretty much, or as on the flood, and the difference, man, in the water like depth there was crazy.
Insane. Yeah.
So we went to try and go for like some weavers first, like right at the mouth of the river where it's very sandy, and there are lots of weavers.
Yeah.
We had a few like missed, like I think I saw
rattles.
A couple and stuff, but I didn't really. But it was so low at that point.
Yeah,
and it was everywhere. But then once it started flooding in, it was like
we got pushed off pretty quick, didn't we?
Yeah. And then we moved up, and there was some boys doing the some very, very heavy baits style,
quite crude.
Yeah, fishing just above us.
Yeah,
getting quite enthusiastic about the wrasse they were catching, which is good.
Yeah,
but they were annoying the hell out of me, so I had to move. But we were catching just loads and loads, weren't we?
The corkies were just insane. They were relentless for a good hour or so, weren't they? Just, but like you say, with the current, it was you almost sort of trotting it through and just waiting for that whack.
That's it.
It was really, really fun fishing.
Yeah, and obviously I was just trying to, trying out different lures, trying different things, and just like you'd get like it ripped off, you get it like just rattle drop, and like there's so many different things going on.
Yeah, really
everything
exciting.
was in a rush to feed.
Yeah, that's what it felt like, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's the benefit of that big tide.
Yeah.
So we then we went over to the other side, and I'm having a mental blank. Who did we see there?
Tom Stafford.
That's it. Sorry,
Yeah.
Tom. So Tom was over there, so it's good to chat with him.
It was, yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
realise it was him at first, actually. I was like, there's someone fishing there. But
That's good because your eyesight is
Yeah.
famously great.
yeah, it's pretty embarrassing, really. But
Yeah, so we went and had a chat with Tom. That was really nice. You picked up a blenny in the corner.
a couple of bleddings in that
Yeah.
corner, yeah. I think I was after one of the black gobies that I never caught that weekend.
That's crazy, though, because I was
Yeah.
picking up quite a few.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Yeah.
mad. But they're I was having them on and scented everything.
Yeah, you were, yeah,
It's weird, isn't it?
crazy.
It's strange. But that's just species sense for you. I mean, I was really going for ages trying to get a tom pot. And I was and kept getting gold cinny.
That's
what
right.
you needed.
Which I needed at the time, didn't I?
Yeah, funny. But so we went from that. It was hard to sort of pull myself away from there, but
Yeah.
it was starting to get dark, and it's like, come on, we really do need to give Falmouth a go.
That's right, yeah.
And, so we went to Falmouth, and I think we made the mistake of not eating that day, didn't we? Like, we didn't really eat properly.
I think that was a big part of a mistake.
It
like,
was,
over the
yeah. I
weekend,
really because I think we ate better on the second day, and I felt a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I can't remember what we did eat that first day, to be honest.
not a lot.
No.
No, not enough. Nowhere near enough. Maybe a pasty.
Yeah, which is not going to sustain you through
No.
the whole day, is it?
No, as much as it is manna from heaven. But so we would flag in a bit really when we got to Falmouth anyway, and it wasn't the easiest fishing really, was it?
No, I'm trying to think where we started.
We went straight to Prince of Wales Pier.
Okay. Oh, we did. We parked somewhere different, didn't
Yeah,
we?
we passed somewhere different, and went straight down there, and there were squid everywhere.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, lots of squidders, and I think Dave Smith was down there, and another angler, I can't remember his name.
Oh, Robert,
Yeah,
I want to say. Oh, it's going to annoy me now. It will come back to me in a minute. I'll shout it out.
That's fine.
And Tom Stafford was back there, wasn't
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
So we obviously, it was nice to chat with them, and there were a few scad going around.
There were.
Yeah, I saw a few flashes, and
Yeah.
I can see you twitching.
Nervous twitch.
Yeah, which I lost my first one because I tried to bully it on 1.5 pound Ester line, which is a little bit silly.
Yeah,
But,
eager.
yeah, I did. Yeah, I forgot that I hadn't set my drag quite as light as it should be. But I did feel great satisfaction, proper like agieing technique with I think it was an Magbite agi feel jig head with a
Nice.
Kitech 2.5 inch. What was that called?
You went on an easy shaker then, were you?
Yes, it was easy shaker. Yeah, which was my lure of the weekend. Really,
Yeah.
really enjoyed that. Yeah, so I had that in I think it's like the clear glow. It's really nice, and
Lovely looking there, aren't they?
yeah. So I was just really slowly sort of twitching that through the water layers, and had 3 scad I think on that overall, and there weren't many around.
No.
But I lost one. It snapped me off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had another one shake the hook, so I only landed one. But yeah, hooked free.
One was enough.
One was enough, and I was very satisfied with that. And Tom got one as well. So
He did, yeah.
yeah, you had one.
Well, I
Lost
think I
one.
hooked and lost one that felt like a good fish.
That was a good fish.
Maybe in a bass, maybe, I'm
Yeah.
not sure. And then hooked another one that did me at the net, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
So that was tough to take.
Had you already had a few fish lost at this point, or was that the start of it?
I was starting to. I bumped a few, hadn't I? But
Yeah.
I think that was the start of.
Because that was the theme for you, was
Yeah,
losing fish right at the very end.
yeah. It felt like someone was taking a mick in the end, to be honest. But it was just one of those things. And
I think once you get that in your head, though, you do tend to
You do,
beat yourself up a little bit.
you sort of look for reasons, then, don't you?
You do.
Sort of convince yourself that's what's going on. But yeah, it felt a bit like that.
Yeah, it's not great, but so we. Yeah, so I think I did okay there. I'm trying to remember the species we were on.
We had a
but
pout each, I know that, didn't we?
We definitely had a pout, which I was
A little squid as well.
squid. Yeah, it was thin pickings. It wasn't like I had a black goby there, which again you wanted.
That's right. Because
Yeah.
I think I had a rock goby down the post, like
You
first
did, yeah.
cast. And I thought, oh, this is going to be all right.
Yeah.
And then it was
I was
very.
getting little like picks out of like distance. I couldn't pick
Yeah.
them out either.
Do you think they were little red bream, maybe? Or?
I mean, probably, but I always feel like the red bream are more enthusiastic.
Yeah.
It was a bit more like slow picks and stuff. I don't
Mm.
know. It wasn't. I don't know the type of fishing it was. It didn't feel it wasn't that inspiring
No.
after a reasonably hard day, even though we'd had some nice fun at Hale.
Yeah.
We hadn't built up the numbers that we normally build up on a Friday.
No, it was a bit lacking, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think we possibly weren't feeling as buzzed as we quite often are after a Friday.
Yeah, because normally like a Friday night at Falmouth is productive, isn't it? You could add quite a few species, maybe some unusual ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just didn't quite go that way. I think the squid really do knock it back, don't they?
They do, yeah. And when the squid are that active, I think they are proper hammering the anything that swims, really.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be out and about in the water.
You see the way they just grab and just bite everything.
Yeah.
And even if they're slightly bigger fish, they're going to annoy you, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I think we went over to where we, obviously, the other side of things, the other side of the town, fished there for a little while again. The tide was really dropping at that point, and it was very uninspiring. You got a red bream.
That's right. Where was that? Oh, yes. I remember.
Yeah, customs, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And, that was like obviously trying to go for top knot. I'm doing all the walls, and I'm trying sight fishing. I'm not trying sight fishing. I'm just like, I was trying all these different things and just really getting nothing at all.
Yeah, I think I might have missed a couple of top knot hits on that wall actually, and then
you hooked a conger, didn't you?
Got busted by a conger. Yeah. That was. I mean, you sort of convince yourself you might have had a chance, don't you? But really,
you very rarely have a chance. There's a couple of spots, and Pender knows them.
Yeah,
so
you got to get yourself in the right position, haven't you, and find the one the right size. But one day.
One day. But one day a small one will just come out and you can just pull it out.
Yeah.
But we kind of finished reasonably early for us.
I think we did, yeah.
Because and decided to sort of make a proper day of it the following day.
Yeah.
And because we were staying in St Austell, which obviously gives you, I think for anybody species hunting in Cornwall, the St Austell coast is a really good place to sort of base yourself.
Yeah, it's ideal, isn't it? You're quite close to a lot of the sort of popular marks.
Yeah, obviously, then there's good options. Mevagissey, Charlestown, Foy, etc. Not far away from each other.
Yeah.
So that's where we based ourselves. We drove back there. Got, okay sleep, not great sleep, but it never is really when you're kind of half buzzing off the thing next to each other, snoring. It's Yes, we got up, had a nice breakfast.
Decent breakfast. Yeah. Started the day a bit better, didn't we?
We did. I was on a different feeling then, I think. I just felt, today's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
Conditions felt pretty good.
Yeah.
And we were also, because we were fully convinced we were going to get drowned by the rain.
Yeah.
That day.
Because the forecast in the week had been pretty bleak, hadn't it?
Yeah. And it was still looking that way.
Yeah.
We're currently recording this, and looking outside, it's hammering it down, or it's just slowing down now, but it has been hammering it down.
Yeah.
And that's what was forecast the whole time.
Yeah.
And so we're just thinking, okay, well, we'll just fish until that point, and then who knows, we might stop, we might record a podcast, might get some food, whatever.
That's right, yeah.
And so we were fishing down, we went down to, was it Charlestown we did first, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And there was a
crikey.
a banger race rally.
Yeah, that was something, wasn't it?
Wasn't it just? Yeah, so that was like, there's still a bit of swell, and we're going down, there was just like cars upon cars, and they're all like what ones did we see? There was one that was Undertaker themed from like the wrestler.
Mario and Luigi were there.
Mario and Luigi, a couple of them, I think.
Blues Brothers
were there.
Yeah.
they'd all reversed their way down the quay, which is quite impressive to be fair.
Yeah, some interesting parking there.
Yeah, and it was a proper racket. It was not chilled fishing.
It's a band playing, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Sound checking and
yeah.
It was not the usual Charlestown vibe anyway, was it?
No, because everything been so quiet, for us the night before, and there's like you've got this just racket going on. But there was a couple of bait anglers there, as there often are at Charlestown.
Yeah.
And one guy was picking up mackerel off the bottom on like popped up sand eel.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah.
So I was thinking, okay, that's good. I'm going to cast out metal and get them. Didn't get them. But I did switch over to just, I think a bit of snooded drop short. Maybe, was it that? Yeah, probably. Just with a little section of gulp, I think. Gulp isom.
Yeah.
And twitching that along. I was getting loads and loads of rattles thinking that's a weaver. But no, it's the red bream.
Red bream were there.
Yeah, of course it was the red bream. And I'm still not going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about them in a minute when we talk about foy. But the red bream were there. Of course they were.
Yeah,
they're everywhere.
In numbers, weren't they?
Yeah, so I was happy to get that because I've only recently started catching them, and also I needed one for the tally.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was
It's
good.
still a relief to tick one off, isn't it?
Yeah, and so we kind of persevered, and things were looking a bit like, oh, we're not really catching much. And then I pulled a weaver out, which I was really happy with.
Yep. Yeah.
And then I was using the metal, and I pulled a weaver out,
You did.
which is quite often the way, I think. You know?
Yeah, yeah. It's funny how it goes, isn't
Yeah,
it?
quite often at distance when you're going for like a tub or, anything else, mackerel. Yeah, the weavers will find you.
Yeah,
on the metal.
that's true.
And like we said before, weavers are not shy in taking a metal.
No, they can be really
Yeah.
aggressive, can't they?
I think the numbers, I don't know whether it's because of the amount of swell we've had, but the numbers at Charlestown of weavers just didn't seem to be there this year.
No, I feel like I've struggled for them sort of the last year or two.
Yeah.
Like it used to be sort of turn up 5-10 minutes for your time and the job
Yeah.
done, isn't it? But
I guess they are, you'd imagine they're a bit like sand gobies and common gobies and stuff. They're probably a quite short-lived species. I reckon,
Yeah.
Charlestown. I don't think you're going to get a weaver that's older than 3 or 4 years.
no, potentially not.
Yeah, so like they're going to be, there's going to be some years when there are millions of them.
Yeah, I
and maybe
guess.
years when
Yeah,
there's just not.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I think certainly in some spots you're going to see less and some you're going to see more.
yeah, sort of peaks and troughs.
Yeah. And obviously hot, nice and calm summers, we'll see lots more of them,
Yeah, yeah.
in the shallows anyway. Because they really don't like swell.
No, I guess, and there had been quite a bit of swell through there.
Yeah,
hadn't there?
I do think weavers in my experience really don't like swell. They're very small.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rough time down there by those walls, I
Yeah,
expect.
and I guess if you're buried under sand and there's swell, you could easily get covered by lots of sand and not get out.
Yeah, or vice versa, be exposed and then get gobbled up by
Yeah.
one of the predators that's lurking around.
Bass must eat them, mustn't they?
I'd imagine so.
It wouldn't be a nice meal.
No.
But they must eat them, surely.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
Have you ever seen like a shag or a cormorant come up with a weaver?
I can't say that I have,
No.
no.
But you often see them working.
But
There
they're
was
very
a
busy in
northern
that
diver
area.
at Charlestown that day,
Yeah,
and they were quite busy. So
Yeah.
I wondered whether they're picking them up.
yeah.
Yeah, spicy,
Yeah, spicy.
so spicy. Maybe that's their version of spice. So yeah, did we get anything else there?
No,
No.
I hooked and lost something again, I think.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Uh,
Did you get bass there?
I had a bass.
Yes.
Yeah, I did have a little bass there.
Yeah. Which I did not get bass there. No,
No,
I did not. It's a little while ago now, so I'm trying to remember.
hard to recall, isn't it?
Yeah, and where did we go after that? I know where we went.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we went down to a beach, and it was a beach mark we were shown by. We've spoken about it a few times, which we haven't fished in a couple of years.
no.
And
We were both keen to go there, weren't
we
we?
were, yeah, we were shown it by Will Pender, a long time ago now, and it's a beautiful place. Not always the most productive, but we thought we'd just give it a try because we were expecting that heavy rain, weren't we?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And
yeah.
it was low tide, and we thought we'd chase the tide out, and then we can at least fish the rock pools and see what happens.
Yeah, there's a couple of options there, aren't there? If the plan A doesn't go.
Yeah, so my plan was to twitch a metal over the sand for turbot, and so I tried that. And first cast caught a bass. So
That's
I'm
right,
buzzing.
yeah.
So I'm like, brilliant, this is good. Then after that, nothing.
Yeah.
That's all. And I think you were really trying to get weaver or a turbot, obviously.
Yeah.
On
We had a tricky crosswind, didn't we?
It was, yeah.
It made throwing metals pretty tricky.
Yeah, because it should have been the wind coming from behind us, but it actually was coming across us, and it was completely ruining.
Yeah. Couldn't really get much distance.
No, you're casting your metal out, you've got the big bow in the line, it's then parachuting your metal across and not really getting the presentation that you want it to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a big beach, and if the fish aren't on that side of the beach, then you ain't getting them.
No,
So
that's exactly it, isn't it?
Yeah, so we tried and we tried and we flung and we flung and we didn't get really anything. And
No.
we did go around the corner and a little go in the pools there, and I pulled out a shanny which I needed.
Yeah.
On one of Callum's little ice jigs that he sells.
Oh, they're really cool, aren't they?
Yeah, a tiny hook, and that was quite good fun. Pulled that out, and obviously there was giant gobies there as well. I
Yeah.
caught a pretty big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of this tiny rod pool, ridiculous.
It's mad, isn't it, where they
Yeah.
these big giant gobies come out of.
I also hooked and lost a shore rocklet in there as well.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty gutted about that because he snagged me up. He took me under the rock, and then I hooked the rocks. So slippery things.
Yeah, they are.
but it was like really nice. It was like sunny. It was gorgeous, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, and once you gone around the corner from the wind, it was really sheltered.
Yeah, I actually felt like it was a bit burning my face.
Yeah, it was getting hot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just completely not what we were expecting. So we, yes, we did that, and then we went back round to try and go for the, the turbot again on the flood.
Yeah,
because it was kind of at the bottom of the tide and trying the flood. And yeah, short answer to that, we did not get one.
No, sadly
even
not.
a hint of one.
One day.
Yeah, one day. But there was a big shoal of smelt there.
There was.
And I actually, we've had a couple of sessions, I've talked about it on the pod before, where I've just flicked like tiny little jigs or tiny little lures, like for smelt, and they are such obliging species.
They are. They're really, really good fun, actually.
And in crystal clear water, when you can watch them chase it and stuff, just cast them out, and you're using like proper ultra lightweights and lines. They are really good fun.
They are, yeah,
and really pretty as well.
They are pretty fish, aren't they?
Yeah,
as you say, it's sort of scaling right down. It's proper fun finesse fishing, isn't it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I was sitting there in the sunshine. I was kind of like, feeling quite at peace at the world. I wasn't that impressed with the fishing, but I was kind of just chilling out, and then catching these smelt. The occasional pollock would come up and have a go.
Yeah, little ambush. Yeah,
there's a few lesser sand eel around which I tried for but couldn't get, and a few launches that sort of occasionally come by. So
it was quite pleasant up on those rocks.
It was pleasant. Yeah, I'd say I wouldn't say it's the most like exciting fishing I've ever done in the world, but
pleasant.
It was. Yeah, very pleasant.
Yeah.
So we went from there. I think then we just went on, and if I'm looking at my catches, which I am now, I'm pretty sure we went straight from there to we did the next spot, which is we were going to stand there till dark. Really, that was the plan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we got some food in the pub.
Lovely food.
Yeah, it was nice. Fish and chips.
That sorted us right out, didn't it?
Yeah, a pint.
Yeah.
Which we never do.
We don't, do we?
We never ever stop for food in a pint, and we really should.
Yeah.
And it recharged my batteries.
Yeah, it did. It really made the evening, I think.
Yeah. So we sort of stood on this, harbour wall, and just cast a variety of lures out into the setting sun, and it was just beautiful.
Conditions were perfect again, weren't they?
They were. Yeah. And, I had a great time.
Yeah,
I really did. I was having such a good time. I was casting. I firstly was casting out like a tipped. Well, I was using the same rig I was using for the turbot, which was a Magecraft Nano Agi 5 gram, but I'd taken the hook off and put a length of fluorocarbon about maybe 3 inches, and then had like a size 12. Oh no, not size 12. It was the Decoy SG1. Like the worm style hook.
Yeah.
They've got
the little kink in them.
Little kink in them. With like a Shirazu on it.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's what's caught me turbot before.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd tried that before. Didn't catch me turbot, but I was casting out. I had a really nice tub gurnard.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure was a flatfish.
Yeah.
Because it really was staying deep.
Yeah.
So I had that. I was buzzing from that. And then you got a tub after that as well.
Yeah. On a metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really good. And again, same technique as always, really. It's just casting out, let it hit the bottom, twitch it up, let it hit the bottom again. Lots of very patient.
Yeah.
But erratic. And then Lucas turned up.
Needed a gurnard, didn't he?
He did, immediately.
Did it pretty quickly.
He did. The tiniest one, though.
Yeah, it was cute, wasn't it?
Yeah, so he cast like a tip metal out, which is like, his technique is just like a metal with like a single hook off the back with a big fat bit of pink isomorph.
Yeah.
It's like not the prettiest rig in the world, but it's very effective.
Lethal, yeah.
Yeah, so he cast that out. And then I think I had a couple of rattles and things which I really felt were bream. You were getting them as well.
Yeah, they'd come in, hadn't they? You could tell.
Yeah, so I put on, which definitely looked weird, I put on a Muraku, the red crab. On the tip metal that I was using, pretty much. And I was getting this rattle. And I was thinking, I missed it. So I cast that again. And then I got the fight and I was like, no, that's a couch's bream.
Yeah.
And got one in. So only a little baby.
Beautiful, though.
Yeah, so nice.
Lovely catch.
Yeah, I was really happy with that. I think that for me, like, all was right in the world.
Yes.
I could start like really experimenting then as well. And I was determined to try and get one on the, or not, maybe not even the a bream. I was just trying to catch more fish on the easy shaker.
Yep.
So I put on a Darson jig head, decoy one, Yeah, and one that there's a colour, I think it's the Wakasagi or smelt colour of the Easy Shaker. It looks exactly like a sand eel.
It does. It looks perfect almost, doesn't it?
And I cast that out and I was getting these hits and I was thinking, that's bream. And you were on the Easy Shaker as well, right?
Yeah.
You're saying that with a big sigh.
Oh, that did hurt me a little bit. Like,
yeah. Because you had your Easy Shaker like bitten in half
3 times.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, I know the hook, I sort of said I have a feel of that, and it was like, all right, but
Yeah.
I think I let myself down by using a substandard hook there.
Yeah, what, you fishing on a cheb?
Cheb, 3 gram cheb, because it was the only 3 gram cheb I had with a hook big enough on it at the time.
Okay.
And again, I was being lazy. I could have dug around in my bag and maybe switched hooks, but I thought, it'll do, it's sharp enough. But 3 hooked and 3 lost says it already, doesn't it?
Painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, especially obviously like I pulled out obviously my carriage's bream on the Easy Shaker, but then I was using a brand new razor sharp hook. So
you got it right basically.
Well,
didn't you?
I don't know. I certainly I pulled out something new from my bag anyway. But the way I was doing that, I was literally jigging that up off the bottom.
They were in quite close, weren't they?
They were, yeah.
Yeah.
And you were getting bites and bites all the way to the end. And there were red bream there as well.
Persistent.
Of course they were.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a few of them there.
Yeah.
I didn't really...
Oh, yeah, at first I had quite a nice ballon, didn't I?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Right on the sand.
Yeah. Yeah, that was quite cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, and as that was coming up, there was bass chasing that. And there was bass topping as well.
It's very exciting.
It was, yeah. And there was loads going on. There wasn't the garfish and mackerel we expected to see.
No, that was the only surprise, really, wasn't it? Especially on the big tides.
And we were casting out metals quite a lot, weren't we? And just didn't get anything.
Strange.
There were squid there.
Squid.
Yeah.
Bass, which I would probably think were fixated on those squid, maybe.
Yes.
The way they were feeding, but yeah, it was lovely, wasn't it?
It was.
Although we didn't get the mackerel gals, it was lovely.
It was nice. It was just chatting with Lucas and just catching. We were catching periodic. We were catching the tubs.
Yeah.
It did really quite die down as the sunset.
It was literally like a switch went off.
It's not my experience of that spot before.
Really?
It was really, it really did switch off.
Just like that. Maybe the squid again?
Could be. They became more active. Maybe. Maybe the bass.
Yeah, could be.
But
interesting.
Yeah, definitely. The gurner just completely switched off and the bream disappeared as well. So,
yeah.
But it's such a big tide. It's a huge tide that we were actually stuck where we were for a little while.
Terrible place to be stuck.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
It's beautiful. It's there, staring at the sunset, catching fish. But yeah, I really, really, before I got off the Easy Shaker, what I was saying, actually I caught the following day on them as well. But I caught you may have seen the picture, but one of the catches bream I caught spat up 2 sand eels.
That's right. That was it.
Yeah, and they were literally the exact same length as the lure I was using. I mean, I'd love to say I intended that was deliberate, but it was just pure fluke that I got it right.
It certainly matched the hatch, didn't it?
Definitely did. And it's funny because I just never associate bream as like sand eel munchers.
No.
I think it was crab and prawns and things. But couches definitely...
They were obviously really on them as well, weren't they? The way they were hitting.
Because I used the... again, I cast out a bellows gill as well.
Yeah.
And they ripped that in half.
Oh, they did,
well.
didn't they? Yeah. It nibbled around the edges, didn't they?
It did, yeah, everywhere but the hook.
Yeah.
It's quite a big lure, really, for a 2-inch.
It is, yeah. It was ambitious. It would have been cool to see one on that, wouldn't it?
I think a slightly bigger one would have easily done that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because it does look like a little crab or a little flatfish.
Yeah, they obviously were keen to try and eat it.
But the sand eel imitation was the one. So, yeah, that was really good fun.
Yeah.
So we left that and then we went to Foy. And I noticed, obviously, the classic spot where everyone knows about, who has fished it, is now no longer so good.
No.
We had the light on. But there was a light in the corner and the tide was so high.
It was, yeah.
That, it was right on these steps. And I was looking down and what it reminded me of was when I was abroad in Greece, in the lights of the super yachts, there's these lights shining down. There's always this little bream swimming around in circles, and it's normally like red bream.
Yeah.
And we looked down, and there was just hundreds of these little bream, weren't there?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, and it was just like easy pickings, wasn't it? You couldn't.
Yeah, it was good fun actually.
It was
wasn't
good.
It?
I think we've got a little video of you putting down a booty shake to it. I got one on the metal.
Yeah.
And it was just fascinating. I think this is when I really wanted to talk about the red bream, because we've seen the explosion of the species, right?
The explosion's accurate as well, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's hard to sort of put into words like how many there must be out there.
Yeah.
Like in every estuary, they are there, aren't they?
They're the dominant species as well, aren't they?
And they're like, and obviously they're beautiful and they're really, but they are very small.
Yeah.
So like, we're talking 2 or 3 inches, maybe 4 inches. It's kind of like a good size, really. Like,
they are
really
very
small
little at the moment.
But they are so aggressive.
Yeah.
And like there isn't much they won't take. Like if they can get their mouth around it, they will go for it.
Yeah, literally anything goes, doesn't it?
Yeah. So
you got that good bit of video of where they sort of corralled some prawns onto the steps.
That's it. Yeah, I would. I don't know how if you're going to use that in one of your videos or something, but I will share it at some point.
Yeah.
It's the So they literally these bream had where exactly the same spot we're talking about. Up on the steps in the light, there was just on one step there's just all these prawns.
Yeah.
And then the bream were kind of like biting them and like cornering them. And every time that the sort of water came up, they would have a little go at them and then they'd disappear and then come back.
Yeah.
And it's just like a little standoff between these bream and the bream weren't much bigger than the prawns.
No, it was fascinating, really.
Yeah. But I can imagine those bream are just pecking at the antenna.
Yeah, poor things.
Yeah. But they're, are we going to see like an explosion of the species in the years to come? Do you think we're going to?
I don't know. I'd love to see them like that this year's come back next year. Just a slightly bigger stamp. And,
it'd be great to see. If we got like the couch size we were catching, like what they are, how long are they? Probably, I don't know. They're probably like not even £1/4 pound.
No,
right?
No.
So they're small fish, but they fight hard.
They do. Yeah.
If we had like the numbers of red bream that they are, but in that size.
Imagine the sport.
It'd be incredible.
Yeah, it would.
But as like many bream species, they do go into deeper water when they get bigger.
Yeah, that might be.
And I think we'll lose them.
Yeah, we just see these juveniles.
Yeah, I think we're going to end up seeing that a lot. Because you think when you speak to the Mediterranean guys, they've got around their harbours, there are all these like huge shoals, these baby bream.
Yeah.
But they don't see the big ones as much.
No, true.
Inshore. So
it'd be interesting to see if sea temperatures, the weather patterns affect that as well.
Yeah.
And the Gulf Stream shifting and things.
Yeah, and also like how these little bream are going to deal with the weather we've had recently.
Yeah.
Whether they get wiped out a lot and also whether they get predated hard. You can imagine it must be.
It's true, yes. Yeah.
Obviously the bass, the birds, everything must be having a field day on these bream.
Yeah. Whole new food source.
Yeah.
Plenty of it.
But yeah, if anybody who hasn't, sure everyone's seen pictures now of these little bream.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Yeah, but they are, they're very, very different. They definitely, when you catch one, they don't look like any of the other bream we have.
No, you immediately know you've got something different.
They're not like, I guess the closest they kind of look, maybe like a very, very small black bream and them might look a bit similar, I guess, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. They've got that sort of much more curved sort of
head and bigger eye.
Yeah.
And in fact, they probably look nothing like that. I reckon couches maybe, but they're very different.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just keep an eye out for them. But I think the next few years will be interesting. It'll be interesting to come back to this.
Yeah.
And see how we feel about that.
Definitely.
Yeah. But crazy. But I think that was, we kind of called it a night then, really, didn't we? We didn't really do a lot of foy. Fishing off the key.
I was just thinking we'd only give it a short spell.
We barely fished it, yeah. But if you think about it, in previous years, we really have fished it hard.
We have, yeah. We've got everything we wanted out of it.
Yeah,
really.
So I think I didn't feel any regrets about that. I think as much as I would fish foy, obviously, any time. But lucky enough, I can if I want to.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel any regrets with that. I was quite happy with that.
No,
really.
yeah. That was. We were happy to get an earlyish night, weren't we?
Definitely. Yeah, with the idea of getting up a bit earlier in the morning.
I did have a couple of scorps down the wall there, actually.
You did?
On the
little baby scorps, yeah.
Yeah. I've never caught them there before, actually. I know that some people say it's quite reliable, isn't it?
Yeah, on the key there, yeah.
Yeah. So
on the booty shakes.
On the booty shakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Straight in.
Again, that's probably, we're talking about soft plastics. Obviously, it goes without saying that the likes of like the Shirazus, your Isom, Gulp, etc., are always going to be winners. But talking about soft plastics, booty shake and the easy shaker for me were by far the best.
Yeah. I think they definitely performed best over that weekend, didn't they?
Definitely. The 1.4 inch booty shake's just got that great, very small profile.
Yeah, as a species hunting soft plastic, I don't know if anything else matches that.
No, it's unbeatable, aren't they?
Yeah, amazing.
Really, really good. So yeah, I think we called it and then decided to try and get and then the weather came in hard.
Yeah, didn't it just?
Yeah, so like I set my alarm for like 6 in the morning or something. It was, or maybe a little bit earlier, and it was hammering it down. And you were still sleeping. I was thinking, I'm not even going to wake him up.
I was grateful for that, actually.
Yeah, because it was just, what's the point, you know?
Yeah.
So we went down to Meva then in the morning.
That's right. Yeah.
And we had good fun at Meva. Meva was fun.
Yeah, it was. It was enjoyable fishing, wasn't it?
It was very quiet. There was no one there at first.
No.
And which is really nice. And obviously we met Max down there. He came a little bit afterwards.
Yep. Yeah, good to see Max.
Yeah, Max Goodwin. And we just we caught. I mean, there's plenty of garfish.
Lots of gars.
Yeah,
could have filled our boots on those really at one point.
Yeah, they weren't the biggest, were they? That was the only shame.
No, they were a little bit bootlacy, weren't they?
Yeah, but they were kind of hunting. There's a bit of like weed where the rain had forced all the weed out of the harbour, and they were kind of hunting underneath that.
They quite like that, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it gives them a bit of cover from the birds as well.
True. Yeah.
And obviously they can hunt anything that's hiding around there.
Yeah.
So I had some good fun on that, catching them on metals, catching them on the easy shaker again, with that darting technique. There was loads of sand eels moving around. Then obviously you caught a mackerel.
Yes, I got a mackerel.
And then you caught another mackerel.
Did I?
You got two, because you were caught one on a metal. Yeah. And then you were casting out a drop shot.
Yes, I was.
Which at that point I was thinking, I'm not going to get a mackerel.
You get that sinking feeling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was after whiting, wasn't I?
You were. We got whiting.
Yeah.
Both of us. Yeah.
That's right.
And we got the dragonettes there.
Yeah.
And you pulled out a quite nice ballon as well.
That's right. Yeah, I had quite a good little. I wasn't really after anything at that point, different, but like mixture of ballons and corkies and tom pots down the wall there. It was just nice hour or so there, whilst you were
trying to go for a mackerel.
Yeah, and trying to help Max out a bit, weren't you?
Yeah, I was speaking to Max. I was trying to give him he's bless him, and I was speaking to him, and he's not used to targeting garfish, and garfish are a frustrating fish anyway to try and hook up, and obviously I lose many as well, but he's like too gentle with him. I was like, you got to be harder with him, mate. You got to proper strike.
Set that hook.
Yeah, he's almost trying to tease him out, Yeah. And I mean, his missus got one, which is good fun. I think he came back the next day and he got one.
That's good. That's good. I think they had a good weekend overall, didn't they?
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see. What's her name? I can't remember Max's girlfriend's name.
I was gonna say Jess, but is it?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, sorry if we got your name, but it's great to see her do really well, and obviously
she had a decent ballon as well, didn't she? Yeah. Because you were running around grabbing a net for people, weren't you, at one point?
That's it. Yeah, she's a good angler.
Yeah.
Really stuff. Good. And then we went up and we had a mission. I think there's a reservoir in Cornwall which is we know holds rough. Yeah. It's not supposed to hold rough.
No.
Nowhere in Cornwall is supposed to have rough.
No, it's very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, so I got tipped off, and I don't know if we spoke about it before, but we went up there last year, and you got two. Yeah. And I was really tired and couldn't do it. And then I was determined to get one this time. Yeah. Because I haven't had one in 20 years. Yeah. And I was like, I'm definitely doing it. We drove all the way up to this reservoir at the top of, the moors somewhere. And, and it was... The weather was starting to come in, wasn't it?
That's when we really got hit, didn't we?
We did, yeah. And we'd avoided the worst of the rain almost all weekend, and then it just was biblical.
Yeah, it was only probably half an hour's worth of rain, but we were drenched, weren't we?
Yeah, we were proper drenched. Yeah. It was coming down into my shoes. Yeah. It's going everywhere. But weirdly, that was when we caught.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was, again, booty shake. I think I was using the Cheb, with a decoy SG3 hook, which I borrowed off you.
Yeah, that's it.
And... and I was just using a pinky or pinky purpley colour, and I was flicking that around, and I was getting nothing, and then I just got this lovely little solid tap. Yeah, and I was like, yes, that's the one. Pulled it up. I was so happy.
Yeah, I was happy for you, man.
Yeah, I was so happy, and I was like, and rough, they're just obviously related to perch, and I believe they're related to Zander as well. They're quite of a they're kind of very interesting looking fish, aren't they?
They are, really unique looking fish, aren't they?
Yeah, if you shrunk a perch down but made it a little bit pretty on the cheeks and stuff.
Yeah, quite a little delicate perch, aren't they?
They are. And and in this reservoir they obviously are there, and they and they weren't there in huge numbers though. We struggled, didn't we? First?
We did. It took some time, didn't it?
Yeah.
But
we got them.
Yeah, I wonder whether it's the shoal moving around or whether there's something that switched them on at the time. But
yeah,
thankfully,
because oh my god, if we were just doing that and then not getting the fish, because we tried for trout, didn't we, for a little bit after that, and
they weren't having it.
No, there's nothing in there. I don't know whether that was us or the fact there's just no trout. I don't know. And then we went down to Padstow.
We did,
and from there, and just to sort of finish off the weekend, really, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Just have a bit of casting around and just see what we can find. And we went down there, and it was not the usual situation we normally find ourselves in, was it? There was quite a lot of bait anglers in there.
There was a lot of rods out, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's just lines everywhere, and I was thinking, well, that's ruined out half because it's a very small place.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh god, if everyone's had them, they probably pulled out the gurnard and stuff from here, you know?
Yeah.
Or the flounder or whatever's in there. And there was someone had caught quite a nice bass, like a 4-pound bass.
That's right, yeah.
And killed it,
that went
obviously.
That went home for dinner.
Yeah, and which is okay, fair enough. But yeah, but there was some other lads fishing the other side, which we saw pull out a quite decent sized thick lip mullet.
Yeah,
and just brutally murder it.
Just stomped on it, didn't they?
They did, for the sake of a competition.
Yeah.
Which was, I mean, we thankfully pride ourselves on catch and release competitions. I think the fact you still have competitions where people weigh them in, is insane.
It is. Yeah, I struggle to get my head around that, obviously,
because that fish is just going to go in the bin.
Yeah. And I'd imagine those lads are local as well, and like that fish ain't in there for them anymore, is it? You know, it's and to see it dispatched in the way it was quite.
It wasn't a good look, was it?
It wasn't. No, it was difficult to
see
be
young
there.
lads doing that was really disappointing, I think. And as I said, I don't blame them, so to speak. I just think that the competition's broken if you're doing that. And
the people running them have to
they're
lead
young
the way.
lads who could definitely use a phone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's where it's at now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's be honest, but.
A video recording of that would have been fine.
Yeah.
Crazy. Anyway, on nicer things, we I did pull out on a bladed jig head with a Madwag Mini soft plastic from Kitech. I pulled out a gurnard from there.
You did, yeah.
A really pretty one.
It was a nice fish.
So that was satisfying.
Yeah. Finished on a high.
Yeah, and you pulled out a Sangobi.
The glory. Yeah. I mean, how do you not pull out a Sangobi at Padstow?
Well, I didn't.
You didn't, because your hook was
much too big.
I
might have foul hook one if I wanted for long enough. But yeah, I think we did all right. I think I finished on 23 species, something like that. I think maybe.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
In the 20s for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the important thing. I think it really wasn't that important. We weren't focusing too hard on the species count trying to be crazy for us. It was kind of just trying to enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, I think we achieved that, didn't we?
Definitely. I think there's a few times where, again, I saw you age a bit.
Yeah.
Where you're really flagging.
Yeah, and that sort of caught up with me a bit this year, I think. I don't know if it's work being particularly heavy or just my age, as you say.
Yeah.
But a bit of a decline. But I found it testing.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically sometimes.
Yeah, I think going into that, I think you'll definitely it'll change how we approach things, I think, next year. But after your training regime, you're going to be on it.
Well, yeah, maybe it could be new year, new me.
It could be.
Yeah.
It really could be.
The same for you, you're getting better, more sleep these days. You could be on to the next.
Yeah, I could be on it.
Next level.
Yeah, it could be. Well, hopefully I'll get to do the CLF next year as well.
Let's hope so. Yeah.
That would please me greatly.
We will have to go into a training camp then.
Training, definitely. So after we wrap that up, I think we've just finish this off really with some questions that we put to the group.
Yeah, let's do it.
Mostly were sort of CLF and weekender themed, but I'll go through it first and see. So Dave Smith said, did you prefer the individual hunt or did you miss the big social event from previous years? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a good question really. I think the Falmouth event in particular brought something quite interesting. Yeah. And the social side as well is really good because everyone's sort of forced into that space, aren't they? And,
yes.
That really makes for an enjoyable day, and like I said, a bit of a leveler almost, or a different aspect to it, perhaps that I quite enjoy. Don't know, what do you think on that?
Yeah, so I officiated sort of on one of the Falmouth events, and I I really enjoyed the feel of that.
It was good.
I was very jealous. I really wanted to compete.
Yeah, I bet you did. I could see you itching.
Yeah, I was itching. I would, although I haven't taken part properly, I would like to see a version of that come back.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, I also love the all-out species hunt. So
you wouldn't be devastated without it, would
not
you?
at all. No, I also like, we are realistic with, as people who run events.
Yeah.
We know how hard it is.
That must be a huge.
And I think a word
challenge.
out to like Josh Fletcher, who had to sort of take over sort of like MC duties.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Hats off, mate.
Yeah, like I think that's a really, really hard thing to have to do, and he did it, bless him, did it as best he could, and I think he's come forward and said, like, it's a lot of work, we know that is.
Yeah,
like,
we feel your pain, man.
And the point system and everything, trying to work that out is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, we know how crazy the fundraiser is, and that's nowhere near as complicated as the art fishing version was.
Yeah, quite.
So I think yes, I'd love to see it, but it wouldn't be an end of the world.
No, agreed.
Yeah. So Charlie Sebage, he said, question 1, do you give yourself a set time at a location, or do you only move on once targets are achieved and risk missing tides, etc.?
I guess for these weekends, we come up with a plan, don't we?
Yeah.
With a rough time scale,
Yes.
based around tides and where we want to go. But I think it changes as you go, doesn't it? Like,
Definitely.
if we're fishing together, you sort of you give yourself a certain amount of time to get the species you need, won't you? But
Yes.
it's
You kind of have to balance out what you're both doing, where you're going. Tides are definitely a big one. Weather's the big one, and so like the time of the day, because like some fish, a lot of fish will only. It's the best is like the dusk, or like so you've got to. If you know you've got to be in a certain spot at that time, then you just have to cut and run.
to break away, don't you? Yeah.
And it can be really hard. Like we've had it before, like we talked about before, where like you've been like just stuck on the scad because like
Just loving
you
it.
just want to
Yeah.
catch those scad. And,
Yeah.
like, and I know that we need to move,
Yeah.
and I've dragged you away from it.
Yeah.
And like I don't take a lot of joy in that actually, because it's not it's so much fun doing it.
But you're right. We're on a species hunt.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it depends what you want from it, really.
Yeah.
If you're really trying to if you're trying to come high in the standards, you have to be like regimented with it.
You do, yeah. You have to be hard on yourself sometimes, don't you?
And sometimes you just leave and just think, actually, maybe I can sneak in a session somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like the weavers we're talking about, or
Yeah.
you just got to hope you can get them somewhere else.
You weigh it up, don't you? And
Definitely.
make that cool.
Yeah. And what species drove you mad? Well, we have kind of covered that a little bit, but he was saying he struggled with painted gobies and gar. I mean, they're two species you would drive you mad. I think
they've probably driven us mad at times. Painted gobies did for me.
Yeah, painted gobies I feel a bit more confident with because my eyesight's pretty good with my contacts in.
Yeah.
But garfish always drive me mad.
Yeah.
Because so on the weekend, actually, talking about that, I lost a garfish really early. I literally dropped it out of my hands. I had the garfish scales on my hands.
That was right at the start, wasn't it?
Right at the start. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, because if I got a gar that early, I'd be so relaxed the whole way through.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a gar until the Sunday.
Because you put a lot of time into them, can't you?
Yeah. So they are a frustrating one. I mean,
They are multi-leveled frustrating, aren't they? Because you got to find them,
yeah,
and you got to try and hook them,
yeah,
and then you got to get them to stay on.
exactly. Yeah. I think sometimes the bream can be like that. Sometimes mackerel can be like that.
Yeah.
Just finding the mackerel. It's a funny old thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Martin Gillett's quite an interesting one. What effect did you see in the results for the weekender with extremely high tides and low tides that weekend? Do you feel that even a week later these tides affected the way the CLF fished? So, like we said, very, very different conditions.
Yeah, absolutely.
From like loads of movement to no movement. How would you say? Obviously, you fish both.
Yeah.
So, what would your feelings? On that?
I think we said it for a long time. It affects the pelagic action quite a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like I said, we got our pelagic targets, but it was like one or two of those species, and the bream were quite sparse, really. I know pretty much everyone caught a red bream, but I personally felt they were thinner on the ground.
Yeah.
There was one couch is caught. No black bream, although they've kind of seemed to have
disappeared.
Yeah.
Maybe the red bream have kind of taken their spot.
Yeah. But like as I said at Meva, the gars and the mackerel were sort of more spread out, less active, I would say, or doing whatever they do that's not near enough for us to to catch them.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah. I think definitely the obviously with that amount of water moving around, like it's good and bad, isn't it? Because it can be, we found it in certain spots, like where you get pushed off the mark really quickly and you don't get a lot of like the windows for certain. If your spot is very tide specific, it can be a nightmare.
it can. Yeah.
Like, but also it gives you. I mean, the big tides give you massive opportunity at low tide. I mean, that John Dory, I guarantee, wouldn't have been caught if it went for the big tides.
Yep.
On the weekend there.
Yeah.
Whereas also like sometimes the neap tides can give you like an opportunity to almost fish into like an aquarium because it's just still.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it's really, really.
What would be your preference?
Preference for, well, depends on species.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think an area. So like if I'm fishing I think an area like weirdly like Hale, with a big tidal range, I almost would prefer a neap. I quite like a small tide, even though that went really well for us that time.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Because I quite like having that time to work it out and work out.
So you do feel like you're rushed, don't you?
Yeah, and like if like when I fish a loo, you can't fish it on those tides would have been a nightmare.
Yeah,
but like on a small tide, you got loads of time and you got the flounder and stuff like it.
So very mark specific.
Yeah,
really,
but whereas like Foy, which again is another big tidal range, I just love a spring because it just gives you so much.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish movement through there, isn't there?
And also like you get access to some like you can get down on the sand and stuff and you get some really interesting ground.
Yeah,
and like hermit crabs and all that sort of stuff in the shallows. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
And I think we got one more, which I think is from Kev Benton. He said, "Do you have any places or spots around the UK that you haven't fished yet but would like to?"
Oof, that's a good one.
There's a few, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'd love to go up and fish west coast of Scotland.
Yes.
I have fished a bit of it, but I would love to fish with Andrew Stayright.
Yeah.
And see what, give that a go.
That'd be cool.
I'd love to fish in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
And also in Southern Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some great species stuff to go.
Southwest Islands. Yeah, where the redmouth gobies are and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd love to give that a go.
I'd like to have a go at all those little gurnheads as well.
Exactly, yeah. Some of their flounder fishing as well in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also the flounder fishing on the east coast of Scotland. Some of the harbours there have got some really good flounder fishing.
Yeah,
I'd love to give that a go.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
There's so many places.
Yeah, there are. Anglesey would be a nice one.
Wales. I'd love to give Wales a go, proper go.
Yeah.
I think it's just there's so much ground that's just not covered. And everything is very southwest specific a lot of the time.
It is, yeah. It does seem to be.
Yeah, like obviously we're down here a lot, so a lot of what our content and what we do is down here.
Yeah.
So it's going to attract people down here, I guess. But it would be great to see a few more anglers in those areas.
Yeah, I was speaking to like Charlie and Tom. Like, it's great to see the sort of southeast guys sort of starting to work stuff out, aren't they? And
they are, yeah.
Got a nice sort of little gang of them sharing information, and I think they might have found the new top knot capital of the country. Even.
It looks like it, yeah. And like I said, that's all it takes, isn't it? Like a little bit of conversation, working together, and I think these groups can pop up anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even southeast is obviously like can be very murky water, can be very difficult conditions. But actually, there's probably a lot of good ground there that people are missing.
A few little gems here and there,
So, good question. I think there's lots of places I really want to fish.
Yeah,
is the answer.
Yeah.
And his final one is, I love rock pooling. What's your favourite rock pooling experience or favourite fish you've caught from a rock pool?
Oof.
Do you want to go first? I love rock pooling.
I love rock pooling. I do. I love a Montagues.
Yeah.
It's probably my favourite to catch. But just like picking your way through a rock pool, and like there's a good variety in rock pool, isn't there?
Yeah.
And it's quite instant. I think that's quite I like about it. You move from rock to rock or pool to pool.
Yeah.
You probably got a few more species you could pick.
Yeah, man. I've obviously shore clingfish. I mean, you've had them from rock pools.
I've had one.
I wouldn't say they're my favourite. I did not enjoy fishing for them at all, but I enjoyed catching them.
Yeah.
I mean, top knot of our rock pools. That's really satisfying.
Yeah, I bet.
I really love like a at low tide, like a big low tide, like a gully.
Yeah.
That's like almost a rock pool. It's like becomes so low, and the fish in there, they're kind of trapped in there. You're trying to work them out. They're in these sort of little hidden corners. I've had 4 leopard spots out of rock pools. That was really good.
Yeah,
I love
cool.
giant gobies. Not allowed to say it, but I love them.
Yeah, there's not much gets a heart pumping more than like
one of those big big heads come out. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then when I had that giant cuttlefish.
Oh yeah,
that was insane. Yeah. And that obviously right in the middle of a rock pool, nothing else in the rock pool. So either it's eaten everything or everything's in hiding, and it's just. Yeah, and just to see that in a rock pool was insane.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But that rock pool was like big enough that I could have swam in it.
Really?
Yeah, it was huge. Yeah, it was really fascinating. We fished down there before. That was it's a good spot.
Oh really?
Yeah, down at Rain.
Oh okay.
Yeah, but we've there's a few spots down there. I mean, I've seen big wrasse in rock pools.
Yeah, just waiting out the tide.
Yeah, so we've some really interesting ground. Rod pools are really underrated. I think Kev's got some great rod pools around him, like full of scorps.
Yeah, just scorp jackpot down.
Yeah, incredible.
Isn't it?
So I think what we'll do, we've talked long enough. I think we've probably got over an hour and a half of
Blimey
stuff here. So
is that a record?
Yeah, that's too long, isn't it?
Yeah, it's long.
It's too long for you to listen to us. So we'll finish it there. I think we've got some other ideas. I mean, there's things I really want to talk about, which we'll get into. One of those things being Temu and AliExpress. I really want to talk about.
Oh, we're going to go there, are we?
We are going to go there, but we're not going to go there on this pod. So next time. But so thanks. I want to thank you all for listening. Thanks for getting involved with our competitions and everything.
Yeah, and, brilliant. Thanks, guys.
And we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
The Big Lerf Podcast, talking LRF and more.